All right, guys, we are live, and we are live on Keep Talking 365 for the Mostly Sports Talk Show, guys. All right, it's a lot going on. I haven't been on for a week, and I've been bashing the Knicks a little bit, so we're definitely going to get into that. Happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful, wonderful mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, and a big Mother's Day shout out to the love of my life, my wife Shannon. She is the epitome of what a mother should be, and my two boys. Uh, God, they love her so much, and she's the epitome of what a mother should be. So I want to wish a happy Mother's Day to my wife Shannon, and hey, I also got a birthday coming up on Monday, so I'm gonna be 53 years old. So happy birthday to me come Monday. But listen, we got a bunch going on in the NBA and Major League Baseball. We got Curry's hurt. I don't know. Is Golden State in trouble? The Celtics are down 2-0. Is Jason Tatum soft? I don't know. I'm going to go into that in a couple of minutes and compare Jason Tatum to some of the Celtics legends in the past. And I don't know. I think Jason Tatum might be soft. Jokic is pissed. Jokic is pissed at his team. Jokic is pissed at everybody. Look for him to score about 45 points tonight. He's not going to let these guys go down. Also, Alonso, Lindor, the Mets in an exactly different spot than they were last year at this time. They got the first, the second best record in baseball. They're one of three teams with 24, 25 wins, and they're playing really good. So we're going to get into that too. Who's your favorite team? Who's your favorite player? Is your favorite player that you've ever watched in a sport, do they coincide with your favorite team? I don't know. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I'm going to get into that a little bit too before I get into my NBA rant. What else we got going on? I also watched a documentary, The 100-Foot Wave. The 100-Foot Wave, if no one's seen it, it's about big wave surfer Garrett McNamara and his family as they go on this journey, and it turns into I don't know, a whole wild ride about Garrett and facing his fears and his wife and all sorts of stuff. So it's a really good documentary. It's about a guy named Garrett McNamara. It's on Max. It's about big wave surfing. So we're gonna get into that a little bit. But first, I have to make a quick little comment. We all think that Bill Belichick is one of the greatest coaches, maybe of all time. We watched Bill Belichick walk up and down that sideline, never smiling, always pissed off, ripped sweatshirts. Football was his life. Football, he eat football. He breeds football. He's the toughest coach. Guy said that they hated playing for him, but he's a winner. Tough as nails, man. Seems to have a 25-year-old girlfriend. We all know about this girl. He is the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels right now. That UNC Tar Heels. They are a Division I football team. If nobody knows, they're usually pretty good. Lawrence Taylor went there. There's a little Bill Belichick, Lawrence Taylor connection there. But Jordan Hudson is his 25-year-old Instagram girlfriend. This girl is smoking hot. But the problem is she happens to be sitting in on these interviews with him. Bill Belichick's trying to talk football. She's trying to make him say different things. She's trying to answer for him. She's at the practices. She's at, obviously if she's at the practice, she's going to want to be at the game. She's walking around the field in these Tar Heel blue high heel pumps walking across the field. This is not a good look for Bill Belichick. And I don't think the UNC Tar Heels, North Carolina University, I don't think they thought that was a good idea too, because they have banned her from everything related with football. She's not allowed at the campus. She's not allowed on the field. She's not allowed in the locker room. She's not allowed anywhere on campus because she is going to be a huge, big distraction for Bill Belichick. What's going on, Bill? I know there's pills for that stuff now, and I know there's a psychology behind it, but you're a Super Bowl winning coach. You've toppled almost everything. Is a 25-year-old hot Instagram model worth your football legacy? Your family saying that she's meddling. I don't know what's going on with this chick, but it's a really crazy story, and she is not allowed to step foot on that campus ever again. I actually think that's pretty funny. But and I was going to go into my favorite teams. I was going to go into favorite players, but that's going to be for another day because got a Met game starting in a little while. I like to watch, but I also have to go into the fact that there is NBA playoffs going on right now. Now, the NBA playoffs to me are, over the last couple of years, they've been getting more and more and more exciting. Kind of lost touch of basketball a couple of years ago. I thought it was getting a little too flashy. I thought it was zero defense. I don't know. I lost a little faith in a lot of the players there. But the NBA has actually come back. Now, if you look at the NBA from a microcosm, as first 60 games really don't matter. Well, that's how I look at the game of basketball. So usually I'll pick it up maybe 20 games left and see what's going on, because at that point they're all rested. They've all taken their time off. They've all won games, lost games. They've all said, holy shit, we're a 4th seed. Maybe we should be a 2 seed. Then the playoffs start and everybody is in full gear. Everybody is in full basketball mode. And this is a pretty exciting playoff so far. Yeah, the Knicks beating the Pistons. You had Luka and LeBron going down to Minnesota. And Ant's playing pretty damn good over there still. But I want to bring the attention to a team that could be considered a legacy team. I mean, everybody talks about Madison Square Garden, right? The Garden of Eden. Everybody wants to play there. I don't know. Last time I looked, Knicks fans, there hasn't been that many championships won in Madison Square Garden. But the Boston Celtics have a legacy. The Boston Celtics have championships. The Boston Celtics have division titles. The Boston Celtics have legendary players. Now, when I say legendary players, I mean Bill Russell, Bob Cousy, Havlicek, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Larry Parrish, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Reggie Lewis. Probably would have been something. That poor kid's life was cut short. Len Bias, a draft pick back in the 80s. And you think to yourself, how do these Celtics get all these players? How do these Celtics have this mystique about them? Back 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, the beef with the Lakers. I know Larry Bird. Is Larry Bird one of the greatest pressure shooters of all time? I don't know. He might be, because I'll tell you right now, all you Knicks fans out there that look at me as I'm a Mets fan, I'm a Jets fan, I'm from New York. I haven't been to Boston too many times, but I'll tell you right now, as with both other sports, I turned on the television set when I was a kid and I watched Larry Bird shoot the lights out. I watched Larry Bird win games that he basically willed his team to win. There's something in the competitive nature of those men that I just rattled off those names. They win championships and they would not allow their teams to win. They would step up and they would just get that extra gear when it was needed. This brings me to Jason Tatum. I'm a Boston Celtics fan. I just went on a rant about why I'm a Boston Celtics fan. I'm a Boston Celtics fan because there's a laundry list of players there that you could count on at any moment to take that shot. You could count on at any moment to steal the ball and win a game, a la Dennis Johnson, a la Havlicek. These are guys that did stuff in the playoffs and in the championships that just took their teams to the next level. There's a narrative going around right now that Jason Tatum is soft. So let's go back to game one. Now, game one, Celtics fans, all sports talk radio, Knicks fans, oh shit, the Celtics, oh shit, we're going to Boston. It's going to be tough. Knicks played the game in their lives. You've got to give it to the Knicks. Knicks played so well. Jalen Brunson on fire. Jalen Brunson's got ice water in his veins. That kid was named the clutch player of the year. Absolutely, clutch player of the year. Although he could have won the game in regulation the other night, missed a shot, and Josh Hart, his boy, made him aware of that. But you know what, though? They did win that game, and they did that win that game in overtime. You know why? Because Jalen Brown. Jalen Brown had a chance to win that game. You know what Jalen Brown did? Jalen Brown got the ball, went to go shoot the ball, and Mikal Bridges made him his bitch. That's right, I said it. Mikal Bridges made him his bitch. What happens in game two? Again, Jason Tatum, Mikal Bridges made you his bitch. Now, I'm realistic here. I'm not going to shoot from the sky. I'm not going to say, oh, the Celtics, they were just kicking back. They were just relaxing. They're going to sweep them now. They wanted to sweep anyway, so they're going to go 4 games in a row. 2 in the Garden. I mean, the Boston Garden and Madison Square Garden, because it's still the Boston Garden to me. These are two teams that have a past. These are two teams that, for some reason, these cities in the past, probably because of the Red Sox and the Yankees, but these are two cities that have such a competitive nature. These are two cities that are at each other's throats, no matter what sport they're at. Patriots, Jets, Giants beat the Patriots. The Patriots have all these Super Bowls. Every time you turn around, the Red Sox are winning a championship. Every time you turn around, the Celtics are winning a championship. New England area, Boston, you have had a lot of championships. The New York area, the Knicks. The Knicks had their shot in the 90s. They had their tough team. The Knicks had their shot. This Knicks team's different. This Knicks team has stars. This Knicks team has stars like Karl Anthony Towns. This Knicks team has stars like Jalen Brunson, who the Dallas Mavericks didn't think was going to be a star. This Knicks team has chemistry. This Knicks team has a will to win. They thought to themselves, everybody got us down. Everybody said we weren't going to be shit. Everybody said we didn't beat them in the regular season, 0-4. But you know what, though? Now they're 2-4. And the two games that are W's in that are big ones because they're playoff games. Now, we all know what's going on here when it comes to the Knicks and the Celtics. The Knicks are playing their game. The Knicks are actually playing better than they played defensively. Is it the Knicks defense, or is it the fact that the best shooting, three-point shooting team in the league cannot hit the side of a barn with the basketball? Is it the fact that Derek White throughout the entire season looked like Steph Curry, Ray Allen, you name your shooter? Through the entire season, he didn't miss. He was cocky. Now, can't even hit a three-pointer. Game 2, missed your first 6. As a team, in 2 games, 25%, 25 for 100. You've taken 100 3-point shots in 2 games, and you hit 25 of them. So you don't need to be a mathematician to figure out what's going on here. The Boston Celtics have to start hitting those 3-pointers. Now, if that's not going to happen, if that's just going to say, you know what, though, that was our game during the season, and for some reason we can't find the basket, you need to switch it up. You need to do something. Because this Knicks team is going to go down swinging. They are not going to go down lightly. If you think you kicked it into low gear for the first 2 games, you need to bunch it up to 6th gear. You need that different gear for this Knicks team. You need to shut these guys down. Mikal Bridges is out there robbing you guys, making these look like fools. What are you doing? Are you going to come out tomorrow night and you're going to start hitting those 3-pointers again? Or are you going to switch it up a little bit? Maybe we'll make a coaching decision. Maybe we'll say, all right, let's check out the inside game. But you know what? Porzingis is playing like a pussy. Al Horford's playing like a pussy. So maybe the inside game's not going to work. But I'll say one thing. Jason Tatum. Listen, Jaylen Brown, you're a star too. But you know what, though? All we've been hearing about for years and years and years was Jason Tatum is here and he's our star. I've never felt like he was a superstar, guys. I never, ever felt like he was the best player on my team for the whole season. There's times when Jaylen Brown showed him up. There's times when he would play an amazing 3 quarters and then shut down in the 4th quarter. That was completely evident 2 years ago when Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors crushed their dreams of winning a championship. Tatum disappeared in the 4th quarter. Last year, okay, they're doing a little better. Tatum's playing better. Tatum's finally saying, okay, I got to kick it into a full gear into the 4th quarter. Plays well. Brown plays well. They play great as a team. You know what? They win the goddamn championship from the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks were so upset about this, they traded their best player. They're going to start over. The Celtics made them look like a high school basketball team. Now what? The whole season. Now, if the narrative of basketball and the narrative of the NBA right now is we're just going to kind of play pretty good. If we got to kick it up and play better, we will. We'll win a couple of games, and we're going to rest a little bit. If that's the MO of the NBA right now, you're still there. You are still in that mode. Now, you were in that mode with Orlando. Orlando sucks. Listen, all right, they don't suck, but they're a team they'll be there soon. But you know what, though? Now is not their time. This Knicks team is not the Orlando Magic. Thibodeau's been taking a lot of shit for being a shit coach this year. I don't know if he's going to be around next year. The Knicks lose here. Did he solidify his job next year by playing very hard for these first two games? I don't think so. The Knicks are going to have to come out and play hard the way they did game one and game two. This is professional sports. The leader of that basketball team, when he left the locker room the other night and he got in his car and he went home and he either sat down and thought about what happened in those two games in Boston, thought about all the fans on the streets yelling and screaming at you, because I could tell you, Boston is probably a very, very hard place to play basketball or whatever sport you're playing when your team's not playing well, when you're the star. You want to hear that accent? You fucking suck. Tatum, you want to hear that shit? Porzingis, you want to get off your ass and play? Is it your belly that hurts? Do you have a headache? You have Lyme disease? I don't know. 13 minutes? You played tough the whole season. Averaged 20 points and almost 10 rebounds. I want to see that guy tomorrow. Al, 4 points, 4 rebounds. Look, I know you're getting old, but you know what? You need to do more. Jaylen Brown, you looked like a fool. Bridges took that ball from you. He legally robbed you. He said, give me that shit. And the Knicks walked out of Boston with 2 wins under their belt. Now, I don't know about you guys out there, but basketball is about toughness for me. And the Boston Celtics better channel some of that toughness, because you know what? The Knicks are going to. Knicks fans, you guys are hungry. And you know what? The way this Knicks team is playing, you deserve it. You deserve something good to happen to you. Because through the years, you've had these teams that were almost there. The 90s, I was around for that. I watched those games. I saw John Starks, Charles Oakley, Patrick Ewing, finger roll, fights, Van Gundy rolling around on the floor. That's the heyday when basketball was basketball. How about it, Boston and New York? How about we get it to an old-fashioned 90s ass kicking? How about we start pushing people around a little bit? How about Al Horford and Porzingis start pushing people around a little bit? How about you go up to Bridges, say, Bridges, I'm taking the goddamn ball from you right now. It's over. This is not going to be a cocky fan talking about how we're going to win the next 4 games. This is a battle right now. This is a battle that's going to go 7. It's a battle that's going to come back to Boston. Boston fans, listen, I'm from New York and I'm a Celtics fan, but I know you guys could be harsh. But you know what? As harsh as you Boston Celtics fans are, I am from New York. That Garden is going to be loud. Madison Square Garden is going to be erupting with cheers, erupting with the fuck Boston chants. Be ready for it, Jason Tatum, because you're going to hear it. Madison Square Garden, you're going to hear Jason Tatum soft. You're going to hear go home Tatum. They might even talk about your family. They might even talk about your mother. They're going to try to get in your head. You know what goes on here, Boston Celtics. You know what goes on here, fans. Now, look, I'm a Celtics fan. In a million years, I'm not going to the Garden with a Celtics jersey on. A, out of respect. B, because I'd get the shit beat out of me. Because these Knicks fans are hungry right now. These Knicks fans are hungry for a win, and they don't want nobody else in their fucking building. And I agree with them. This is for you guys. But unfortunately, it's coming, Knicks fans. It's coming. They're the best 3-point shooting team in the league. They shot 48% in the regular season. There's going to be a game where they're not going to miss. There is going to be a 30 for 50 game. There's going to be a 35-point Jason Tatum game, 10 rebounds. Jaylen Brown over 30 points. Derek White's going to hit 6 or 7 threes. That game's coming. That game's coming really soon. And if I were you, Boston Celtics, if I were you, Jason Tatum, I would grab my team and I'd say, guys, let's get back to some old school basketball and let's go to New York and kick the shit out of the Celtics. The Knicks. Getting a little Got a little crazy there for a second. I misspoke there. Let's go back to the Garden and kick the shit out of the Knicks. That's what happens on live, on a live podcast. Sometimes you say stuff. I don't have anybody around anymore to keep me, let me know that I'm saying the right thing. But I got to catch myself this time. I got to say, let's go Boston. Let's go to New York, and let's make it a goddamn series. And let's win a second championship. The NBA championship, the NBA playoffs right now have some really good storylines. I want to talk about the Golden State Warriors for a second. Now, the Golden State Warriors have won 4 championships in the last 10 years. 4 championships on the back of one of the most unassuming Hall of Fame superstars ever to grab a basketball and shoot 3-pointers. Grab a basketball and be, you know what? I'm not too small. I'm a tough motherfucker. Yeah, that guy's Steph Curry. Steph Curry's hurt right now. That's a problem. Now, it's a problem because he's one of the greatest playoff performers to ever step on a basketball court. You're down by 2 with a second left. Give him that ball, he'll hit that 3 no matter what. He'll Larry Bird that shit in a second. I don't like to really put into terms of greatest players or greatest of all time because, as I've said in the past, it's kind of like a topic now where you kind of have to take, the whole thing. Games have changed over the years. But as far as just naturally shooting a basketball with quickness, speed, toughness, it's Steph Curry. Steph Curry's going to be missed tomorrow night. Pulled the hamstring. They say he's going to be out for a week. Now, this is a time when the Golden State Warriors need to look at each other and say, somebody has to step up. And what Draymond Green said to the Golden State Warriors last night is, I give up. That rant that he went on. And look, we all know that that's Draymond Green being Draymond Green. We all know that. Guy's got 37 technicals, the most in playoff history. Guy's a technical machine. 2 more, he's out. I don't think he cares. You could say he's a hothead. Yeah, that's okay, right? That's good. But it's the playoffs. They need you. They need you to keep that cool head. But something always goes wrong with you. You elbowed that kid right in the head yesterday, and you were pissed because you got a technical and a flagrant. And you start yelling at people. Start talking about how you're a strong black man after the game's over in your press conference. You're in the middle of a playoff run. Look, I get it. You're not the star of the team. I get it. Look at your boy. Look at Curry. This guy's been with you from the beginning. I know he took a little hiatus, but he came back. You know why? Because he was there. That's why you came back. He's probably beside himself right now because he thought he was going to look to you for a little bit of mature guidance. There's some young players on this Warriors team that need guidance right now. I love Gary Payton, the old man. Love him. Great defensive player. Unfortunately, his son is not that type of player. But his son needs to look to somebody and say, yeah, I could play this basketball game. Because they're going to rely on him with Steph Curry out. They're going to rely on Draymond Green. But if I was the rest of this basketball team, I wouldn't rely on Draymond Green anymore. Draymond Green's going to go out in that first quarter and probably just get his 2 technicals and just go home. I don't think the guy cares anymore because if he did, he would shut the fuck up the other night. Takes me to my next guy. This is somebody that's got he's temperamental, Jimmy Butler. He's a little temperamental. Jimmy Butler was very vocal this year, how he did not want to play for the Miami Heat anymore. Butler has been on a couple of teams, and everywhere he goes, he does something special. Scored, 17 points the other night? But the thing that they need from Jimmy Butler is Jimmy Butler needs to go and take the game over. Now, I don't know what kind of a leader Jimmy Butler is because Jimmy Butler does some silly stuff. He says some crazy things or whatever. But what I do know is there is a leader in that locker room, and that leader is Steph Curry. Steph Curry has to take Jimmy Butler, have a conversation, invite him over maybe for dinner this evening. Maybe they'll watch the games together and just explain to him the importance of taking the court over and becoming the Jimmy Butler that everybody knows he could become. Show that flash one more time. Show that playoff Jimmy one more time. Because if that doesn't happen, the Warriors will be going home early. Because they're playing against a team that I guess last year was kind of the same thing when you think about it, because Minnesota, you really didn't know. They just came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, they're playing well. All of a sudden, holy shit, Anthony Edwards is one of the best players in the NBA. The kid's kicking ass. He assists. He's scoring 35, 40 points. This team came on last year. This team said, I'm here. Just like OKC, Minnesota said the same thing. Karl Anthony Towns, gone. He's soft anyway. Knicks fans, he's soft. He's not New York. You need a tougher center. But I already talked about the Knicks. Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is tough. Rudy Gobert is a guy that's going to say he's going to get his rebounds. He's going to stop you in the paint. And when he really wants to turn it on, he could be a tough bastard. These guys are going to have to play at a high level because you never know, like I said before, when Jimmy Butler is going to turn it on. When Jimmy Butler is going to be the guy that says, it's my game tonight. So Minnesota, I got to say something about the game last night too. Minnesota, I watched Anthony Edwards at halftime go off the court. Look, we all know this kid's got a big mouth. We all know this kid's not the most well-liked player in the NBA, maybe I would say. The guy's got a couple of paternity suits, well known to, be kind of forgetting about those responsibilities and kind of saying crazy shit, kind of starting with Kevin Garnett talking about the old school, new school basketball. Kevin Garnett's kind of like the wrong guy to start with because love Kevin Garnett. My man, toughness. That's what they need, a guy like him. But that's for another one because Kevin Garnett being one of my all-time favorite players when he came into to the Celtics. I keep having a Freudian slip saying the Knicks. When he came to the Celtics and they won that championship, used to watch him in Minnesota. Then when he came to the Celtics, it was on. They're going to need some of that. But back to Minnesota for a second. Anthony Edwards has helped this year. Anthony Edwards has Julius Randle. Julius Randle played out of his mind the other night. They got Dante DiVincenzo. Now everybody's talking about the new Pope. The new Pope went to Villanova. The new Pope likes basketball. The new Pope's going to be in the ring, in the side, in the corner with the Knicks because of Jaylen Brown, Josh Hart. What about DiVincenzo? DiVincenzo's over there in Minnesota, kind of laying back in the cut, getting a couple of threes here and there. But, hey, maybe the Pope wants the Minnesota Timberwolves to win because of DiVincenzo. Maybe you liked his red hair. Who knows? But what I do know is Steph Curry, have a conversation with him there because you are going to need it. Get that hamstring good. Do whatever you got to do. Go get a happy ending. Do whatever you need to do. But your team needs you, Curry, and you need to come back quick. I'm going to talk about the Cavs first because I want to say something about Jokic. So I'll get to the OKC Denver game in a second. Cavaliers are down 2-0. Cavaliers are down 2-0 to an Indiana Pacers team that, listen, I said it. I did not even think they were going to pass the first round. I didn't even think they had enough toughness to even get past the first round. But what they're doing right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers were steamrolled over the league. The Cleveland Cavaliers steamrolled the first round. And now you mean an Indiana Pacers team with Tyler Halliburton. Kid's playing great, okay? But that's not why they're winning these games. They're winning these games because every single person on the court, on the bench, from the coach to the trainer to the physical therapist, they're all playing well. If you watched that game the other night, that shot that Halliburton hit, it wasn't a championship. It wasn't game 7, but that dagger right there said to the rest of the NBA that we're the Indiana Pacers. Yeah, we're from Indiana, but you know what, though? We're here to play basketball. Everybody thought we were out. How come we can't win a championship? You know what Tyler Halliburton said the other night? With 2 seconds left, you're goddamn right we could win a championship. So, Cleveland, I don't know if you took a back seat. I know you lost your 2 Cleveland games, so you have to go to Indiana right now. Now, those Indiana Pacer fans are rabid. The birthplace of basketball. They're rabid for their basketball. They love their basketball team. Reggie Miller's probably going to be out there running around with his pom poms. You need to play well. You need to go back to Donovan Mitchell scoring 45 points. The rest of the team, you guys need to do what you do and do it well. Because if you sleep on this Indiana Pacers team one more time, you might be looking at a sweep. Now, this 4th game here, the Denver Nuggets. Okay, now the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder on pace, on paper, look like a team that could run all over this Denver Nuggets team. They look like a team with Alexander. Alexander's the best point guard in the game right now. The kid's fast. He scores points. The rest of that team has attitude. Last year, they were young. They didn't even think they could be there. This year, they're there, and they know they're there, and they're there for a reason. This year, they're there to win a championship. Last year, they couldn't believe that they were there. This year, they're there. Alexander says, I got the point record 2 years in a row. Could be the MVP. I'm here now, and I want to win a championship. There's just one thing. Game 1, Denver pulled it out. That was some game. Real heartbreaker, real nail biter. Bang. Denver wins. Game 2, Denver was embarrassed. Denver was embarrassed in Oklahoma. Jokic fouled out in the 3rd quarter. People talked about, did Jokic give up? No, Jokic was frustrated. He said it after the game in his press conference that not so many words. I wouldn't say throwing people under the bus. I wouldn't say anything like that. What I would say is he was vocally saying that to the rest of my guys, you guys need to step up and do something. That's what Jokic was saying to his teammates the other night. Jokic was saying, I can't do this by myself. Denver Nuggets are a good basketball team. I mean, they're without Jokic. Are they a playoff team? Probably not. Jokic makes any team better. Jokic makes any team a championship caliber team. So tonight, Denver and Oklahoma City are going to play a game 3. I watched the press conference with Jokic talking about his teammates, saying people need to step up, saying that he needs to step up, puts the loss on him, but also talking about everybody on the team needing to step up. They had a lot of problems this year with their coaching. Let's be honest, Jokic is probably coaching the team. Also, he's not an American basketball player. He's from a place where there's no parties if you win. There's no pats on the back if you win. There's no yay if you win. That year when he won that championship and they interviewed him, probably the most boring MVP championship interview ever because he was supposed to do that. In his country, you're supposed to go and be the best. You're supposed to win. So winning is just part of what you're supposed to do in life. So Jokic is going to come out. I made a bet today, and I don't normally bet basketball. You know, basketball's kind of hard, with the points, stuff like that. But I made a bet tonight. I got the Denver Nuggets at -5, and it was plus 2,100 for Jokic to score 45 points or more. I'm making a very bold statement right now. Jokic is going to score over 45 tonight. He's going to have 20 rebounds, and there's a really good possibility he may have 20 assists. I understand that's crazy. I understand I'm throwing it out there. I'm really throwing it out there because if it happens, I can tell you I said it. But I do think he's going to play hard. And I do think he is not going to take any bullshit tonight. But he does have to keep his head. Because the fouling out the other night in the playoffs is in somewhat saying that your ankle hurts and you don't want to play. You're not giving it your 100%. You're not keeping your head in the game. You're not realizing that the rest of your team isn't you. You're special. You're the best player in basketball right now. You are the guy. I see you. I see the way you play. I see when it's time to dish the ball, you can have 20 assists easily. I see that third quarter when you feel like Jamal Murray's not playing well, you got to dish the ball a little bit. I see that. I see the first quarter and the fourth quarter, you don't miss a shot. Bang. You don't miss a shot. Bang. Second quarter, fourth quarter, you rebound the machine. You have your all around game. Tonight, you need a record breaking triple double, and you need to show these guys how to play basketball. And I think that Jokic gets it because you're supposed to win these games, guys. You're not supposed to lose. And that's the great thing about sports. And that's a great thing about competition. And that's the great thing about having two teams, men, women, whoever it may be, going at it. And the end result being a win. Because there's no second place. Guys, in life, in sports, there is no second place. There's only first place. If you do come in second place, you just have to work harder. So Denver, got a rough road ahead of you. It's going to be hard. But you know what? Put that dagger. Let's try to go on to that next round because Jokic has some goats he needs to go back to. So that's my NBA rant. I guess I'm about a half hour on the NBA. I got some games I want to watch, and I really want to get my NBA stuff out of there because a lot of catching a lot of shit from people, being from New York, a New York fan, like, oh, you're a Celtics fan, whatever. Yes, I'm a fucking Celtics fan. But you know what, though? I can take it. I dish it out. I talk a lot of shit, but I can take it. And that's the beauty of sports. That's the beauty of it. We could talk shit. We could tell you that our team's going to win, your team's going to lose. But at the end of the day, we have no idea what's going to happen. We have no idea what's going to happen in the outcome. That's why it makes for a great debate. Best player of all time, not a debate anymore. The greatest this of all time, it's just not a debate anymore. Let's start talking about great moments in sports. Let's start talking about Halliburton shot the other night to move them to game 3. Let's start talking about moments like that. Moments like that make basketball. Moments like that make baseball special. Last year, Pete Alonso's home run at the watch while I was at the watch party. Pete Alonso's home run in Milwaukee, sealing Devin Williams' career as a joke. See, stuff like that. Stuff like that you have no control over. Stuff like that makes you happy. So tonight, if your favorite team is Denver, tomorrow if you're a Celtics fan, tomorrow if you're a Knicks fan, tonight if you're a Mets fan, if you're an Aaron Rodgers fan, you have no idea what the motherfucker's playing. But I could tell you one thing. In a couple of minutes, New York Mets will be playing the Chicago Cubs. Chicago Cubs are all right. Chicago Cubs are playing well. Chicago Cubs are 22 and 21-13, something like that. They got a pretty decent record. The Mets are playing much better, I can tell you, than they were last year at this time. Because last year at this time, I was in disarray. I was out of sorts. I was talking about not watching them for the rest of the season. I was saying, what's going on with Lindor? I was saying, what's going on with Pete? I was saying, what the hell's going on with this baseball team? They need some kind of spark. I remember being in my backyard talking about the Hawk Tour girl. What's she going to do? Grimace, the gay flag. What's going on with the Mets? Mets needed gimmicks last year. Mets need this. But you know what, though? I looked around. I turned around, and it was September, and it was October, and it was August. And holy shit, the Mets are playing great baseball. That team showed up this year ready to play. The Mets have the best ERA, team ERA in baseball. I want to go over that just real briefly for a second because they got a 2.89 ERA, which leads the majors. You look at this Mets pitching staff, and it's who's who of anybody that could be a number 3 on a good pitching staff. These guys like Kodai Senga, David Peterson, Tyler McGill, they're plugging along, man. Clay Holmes starting tonight, 4-1. Yankee fans, good luck with Clay Holmes. He's a terrible reliever. You could have him. No, he's our best pitcher right now. He's going tonight. He's going tonight against the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs, Kyle Tucker's playing really good. Found a new home in Chicago. He's hitting some home runs. He's batting about 285. Suzuki's got 9 home runs, 31 RBIs. He's batting real well. Chicago Cubs are making a run. Chicago Cubs made some moves last year. Chicago Cubs made some moves last year Everybody thought that, hey, you know what? They're rebuilding. Yeah, they are rebuilding, but they're winning baseball games right now. Mets got 3 games with Chicago Cubs. Okay. Then they got 3 games with the Pirates. Pirates are okay. Pirates are just one of those teams that's just going to always just be, hey, we're the Pittsburgh Pirates. We get good players, and they're going to be gone soon. Skeens, one of the best pitchers in baseball. He'll be wearing a different uniform in a couple of years. O'Neal Cruz, who's going to know? If he stays healthy, he'll probably be wearing a new uniform in a couple of years. The New York Mets are playing gritty baseball. That's what I'll call it. I'll call it baseball where in the past I would say if the Mets are down, I would just go home from the game. If the Mets are down, I would turn the game off. The Mets are down, I would say whatever. I'll just go, I'll read the paper in the morning, or I'll look at my phone in the morning. But these Mets have me staying up late. These Mets have me watching all the games. These Mets have me saying, I don't care if they're down by 10 runs, they are going to come back. They're exciting. They're an exciting baseball team to watch. They're the kind of team that when they opened up the season, we swept the Cardinals and the Phillies. Cardinals and Phillies. Swept them. Okay. Split with the Nationals. All right. That's fine. Then we lose 2 out of 3 in Arizona. Lost a doubleheader, 1-1 in St. Louis. Won 2 out of 3 in Arizona. Not too bad. And that brings us to tonight. Tonight starts 3 with Chicago, then 3 with Pittsburgh, and then the irrelevant 6 games. The irrelevant 6 games being the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. Mets are going over there to the Bronx to play the Yankees, and I'm sure it's going to make for great talk and banter back and forth. But as I tell you guys in the past, I don't give a shit what the Yankees are doing. It's going to be 3 wins or 3 losses or 2 wins or 3. It is what it is. It's going to be bragging rights. All the asshole Met fans and all the asshole Yankee fans are going to be going back and forth to each other, telling each other how much we suck. But at the end of the day, if you really want to look down to it, you know what? The Mets and Yankees are both in first place. So enough. For those 3 days, Yankees and Met fans, yeah, fuck you, Yankee fans. Yeah. And after that, I don't care. You know what? What you should care is us going up to Fenway and sweeping the Red Sox for you. That's what you should care about. That's what baseball is about, because I don't care about playing the Yankees or the Red Sox. I'll help you out by sweeping them. But you know what? I want to play more games with the Phillies. I want to play more games with the Braves. Let's go with the Dodgers, Giants, Colorado. Who cares? I want to play teams from our division. I want to play teams from our league, because those are the ones at the end of the day matter. It's all about publicity. It's all about buying tickets. It's all about selling tickets. It's all about TV. Yeah, you could have your games with the Mets and the Yankees playing each other. Yeah, Chicago Cubs and the White Sox could play. The Dodgers could play against the Angels. But at the end of the day, I guess it matters for wins and losses, but it doesn't really matter. You want to meet these teams in the World Series. You want the 2 teams to come out of each division and then meet in the World Series for the first time and say, look at you, look at me, let's go. Because I can tell you right now, the Mets and the Yankees, the way they're both playing, they could definitely be there this year. So I want to touch on what Aaron Judge is doing for a second. I'm going to go back to the Mets in a second, but I'm not really going to get into too much of the Yankees, but I could be a realistic fan of the Mets and look at what Aaron Judge is doing. What Aaron Judge is doing right now is out of the realm of, you might think it's out of the realm of possibility. You might think he's doing stuff right now on such a high. He's batting 400. He's got over 30 RBIs. He's got 11 home runs. Shohei Ohtani is not doing that this year. Shohei Ohtani is kind of been knocked down to kind of like a really good baseball player. He's actually been knocked down a couple of notches to where I think Lindor might be able to catch him for the MVP this year. Or if that's the case, they're going to give it to him again. But at the end of the day, Shohei Ohtani is Shohei Ohtani, but Aaron Judge, I think, is a cyborg. He's a robot or something. He's made in a lab, because watching his swing, watching the way he runs, watching the way he fields, it's just watching. It's just you just think he's going to get hurt. But if he does not get hurt, he is going to do things this year that we're going to be talking about for years and years to come. 400 right now he's batting. And seems to be every time he swings the bat, he's hitting home runs. Aaron Judge, if you continue this, I really do hope that you stay healthy. I really do hope that you carry that Yankee team, because I don't know, I'm a baseball fan and I like watching greatness. I am watching greatness. I am watching greatness on my side. I am watching my leadoff hitter at 278, 7 home runs, 24 RBIs, stolen bases. I'm watching that this year. I'm watching that guy come out on the field every single night and lead my baseball team. I'm watching him do things a lot of people watching don't normally see. I'm watching him talk to the guys when they get back to the dugout. I'm watching them talk to the guys if they miss a ball in the outfield or they strike out or if he strikes out. He's not throwing his helmet. He's not jumping up and down. He's not screaming. And the thing that I love the most about this man, the thing that makes him pinnacle, the thing that makes him, I could go into that too, and I'm going to say something really crazy, but he is one of my all-time favorite baseball players, even before he put a Mets uniform on for my reasons. He needs to be the captain of this baseball team. My favorite thing about watching Francisco Lindor play baseball is the fact that big home runs, small home runs, doesn't matter. That grand slam he hit in Philadelphia didn't budge. Jogged around the bases with a look on his face like, I'm supposed to do that. I did my job. Time after time, big hit, big home run, big play behind the back, double plays, jumping up in the air, talking to his team, putting them in place, turning double plays, telling the whole team that they could play. Yes, that's what a captain of a baseball team does. Steve Cohen, give him that captain. Steve Cohen, tell him that you talk to the players, you handle these guys. As crazy as it seems, that conversation last year, whatever he said, turned that Mets team around and made them winners. And he continues to do that on a daily basis. He continues to see things in the pitcher that he feels the need to, when he crosses home plate, grab him and say, listen, Jesse, I see the pitcher's doing this. Thanks a lot. And then after he hears that, Jesse Winker goes out and hits a double. He's always paying attention. He's that guy. Francisco Lindor, he's going to keep on plugging and he's going to keep playing baseball. And Pete Alonso's cooled down a little bit. Pete's batting 328 now. He's got his home runs. He's got his RBIs. He went 0 for 5 the other night. It's okay. He's allowed to. Pete's playing well this year. So he just has to keep on doing what he's doing. He keeps on hitting big home runs. The look on his face the other night when Senga didn't cover first base leads me to believe that he's a confident first baseman in his fielding now. That's what we've been waiting on with Pete. He's a confident fielder. He fields his position and he hits the baseball. He's got 13 doubles this year. It seems like every time he hits the ball, if it's not a home run, it's a double. Doesn't strike out that much, although he struck out 3 times the other day. But Pete Alonso is playing out of his mind right now. And you know why? The impatient Met fan needs to stop because it's coming. It's here. 2 home runs the other night. Juan Soto. The other game, 2 home runs in that game. He's got 7 home runs now. He's batting almost 300. He's got some RBIs. Look, I know it was going to happen. His fielding is sea level at best. He makes mistakes. Sometimes he looks aloof. He's not your typical captain, prototypical leader, prototypical guy that's going to say, follow me, put me on my back and go. He's a soldier. He's a very good soldier. He's a soldier that's going to say, I'm the best player on the team, and you guys are hitting because of me. He's not going to say that, but that's what's happening. He's not going to say that. He knows that's what's happening. But there's going to be a point in time when you can't pitch around anybody in this lineup. Because once you get past there, look, Nimmo's average has been slowly going up. Nimmo was batting 180 a couple weeks ago. He's batting almost 230 now. Okay. Francisco Alvarez, he's paid 33 at bats. He's got 1 home run, 7 RBIs. But you know what, though? Watch that kid catch. Watch that kid learn every day. Watch that kid talk to the pitchers when they need to be talking to. Maybe Francisco Alvarez is the reason why these pitchers are pitching so well. Luis Torrens, our catching situation is good right now. Alvarez, if he's having a little bit of a hard time, he can't play. Luis Torrens will jump right in a second. Luis Torrens is throwing people out. Luis Torrens is a little older. He's got a little more knowledge. He's probably passing on a lot of that stuff to Alvarez. Alvarez, as long as you don't get hurt, you're going to keep hitting. McNeil, look, playing well, okay at best. I don't think he's a good fielder. I just don't like him, something about him. I would use him as trade bait to get something going, but he's playing well. He's DHing tonight. I don't know. We'll see what happens with him. Brett Beatty. Somebody in that front office is trying to give this kid a shot. Somebody in that front office is saying, come on, Brett, just give me a 3 for 4 night. Come on, turn a double play and not look silly in the infield. Somebody's saying saying that one night he's going to do it. But it's just, I don't think it's going to be there for this kid. He shows flashes, and then it's another 0 for 12. He's back playing tonight. He's playing second base. He's playing third base tonight, where he should be. Vientos, I guess, is getting a night off. Vientos is playing okay, but he's definitely playing better than Beatty. So Beatty's going to be in the lineup tonight playing third base. Then I got two players here that I want to talk about that are really making an impact on his baseball team if you've been watching. Luis Acuna. Luis Acuna, in 88 at-bats, is batting .298. He's got 9 stolen bases. He's got a couple RBIs. All right. That means he's, poking the ball around a little bit. Nobody's on base in front of him. Maybe that's because Soto cleared the bases or Pete cleared the bases or Nimmo. But, he's on base. He's stealing bases. But what he is doing is he's playing second base like a second baseman should. His defense is incredible. He's quick. He turns double plays. Chit-chats with Lindor all the time. Lindor's kind of taking him under his wing a little bit and talking to him how to play second base. Luis Acuna should be on the field every single night. Stop at the experiments. Stop putting Acuna at third so Beatty could get his chance. Stop, just send Beatty down. Put Acuna in every single day and let him play baseball because he is going to be a star in this league. Remember, his brother's an MVP. And they got the same genes, and he's only 20. I'm only 21. So Acuna's got something coming because he's playing great right now. He's in his position where he's supposed to be. He's batting 7th tonight. And let's go Luis Acuna because I am definitely pulling for you. Tyrone Taylor. Exactly. Tyrone Taylor. Making diving catches in the outfield. He's got 3 triples on the season. He steals bases. He's running around with a lot of energy. He's our center fielder. Siri's going to come back. Okay. Nimmo could play center. Okay. Got this other guy now. He could play center. Okay. Tyrone Taylor is my center fielder every day. It's going to get to a point where, you're going to have to kind of put people in places and keep them there in the same spot. Tyrone Taylor has to be the center fielder. Brandon Nimmo's a left fielder, and Soto is the right fielder. Keep Tyrone Taylor in there because the kid is playing out of his mind. I expect good things to come this year and definitely some good things to come in the future. So, like I said, the New York Mets are playing the Cubs tonight. There's some irrelevant games out there with the Yankees and the Red Sox. And then after that little trip to Boston and the Bronx, they come back to the only other team that has a better record in the National League than the New York Mets, and that's the Dodgers. The Dodgers, who are playing with Shohei Ohtani, who is kind of playing like a normal baseball player. That's really good. Not playing crazy. He's batting .298. He's not batting .400 like Judge. The Dodgers are beatable. The Dodgers, maybe they need to get their shit together a little bit. I don't know. They got 25 wins. I don't know how much shit they got to get together. I'm just talking. I'm just trying to find a reasoning why they are so good at what they do. But the Mets can definitely beat these guys this year. And I see no reason why we can sweep the Yankees. We can sweep the Red Sox. Maybe 2 out of 3 from the Cubs. Maybe sweep. Wow, we got a couple of wins coming up. I got to tell you, I see good things coming up for New York Mets. And I see good things coming up for Keep Talking 365, the Mostly Sports Talk Show, because tomorrow morning I got a little story I got to tell about Garrett McNamara, the big wave surfer. And I'm going to let everybody know about how our favorite teams and our favorite players, sometimes they just don't coincide. So have fun watching the Met game. Thanks for listening to Keep Talking 365, the Mostly Sports Talk Show. I'm Rich Murphy. And I want to give one more thing. I want to give a shout out to E-Dubs. E-Dubs is starting his new podcast. Good luck, E-Dubs. The fact that, we did what we did for 2 years, and it was coming. My personality, your personality, we got 2 different ways to explain ourselves. Maybe I'm a little more gruff, maybe a little more brash, maybe I'm a little more, joking around. You're a stat guy. You got the numbers. You like the jokes. You like the weather. Between the 2 of us, we helped each other out, right? Between the 2 of us, we went on our own. And hey, who knows? Maybe the 2 of us will become stars in our own name one day. So E-Dubs, good luck to you. His podcast is called Burgers and Baseball. You can find it on Facebook. I don't know what platform he's going to be doing it on yet, but listen, E-Dubs is a smart guy. He's entertaining, and he's my friend. So go check out E-Dubs podcast, all right? So it's Burgers and Baseball. When it comes out, what platform it's going to be on, I'll let you know, but go check out his Facebook page. All right, take it easy, guys. I'm going to go watch the Met game, and I'm going to go check out the basketball games, and hopefully Jokic scores over 45 points tonight, and I win myself $800. So take care, and I'll see you guys next week.